Welcome back to Legal Talk here on eRadio, and we're chatting to Boitumelo Mokone from Hahn Hahn Attorneys today, and we are following up our discussion from last week's poll on LinkedIn. If you haven't liked or followed the Hahn Hahn LinkedIn page, make sure you do so now. We had our Friday poll and we asked, do you know how you can recover your property that has been unlawfully taken by someone else? The majority said, no, I don't. 60% said they don't know, and 40% said, yes, I know. So clearly people don't know. Well, 60% of them anyway. And that's why Boitumelo is here now to enlighten us and help us understand all of this. Boitumelo, welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me, Jon.
So, Boitumelo, what remedy is available when my property has been dispossessed unlawfully?
So there are two important remedies that are applicable in this situation. So it could be spoliation and re vindicatio. So spoliation focuses on restoring immediate possession of unlawfully dispossessed property regardless of the ownership. So the example would be when a tenant is denied access to leased premises without a valid order. And another remedy that is applicable could be re vindicatio, which is a remedy that is available to anyone to restore immediate possession of the property as long as they can prove ownership of the property. So these two remedies that I've mentioned are both aimed at recovering unlawfully dispossessed property, but they are applied at different circumstances.
Now, this is a first for me hearing about re vindicatio. What is the significance of re vindicatio, and what purpose does it serve? Apologies if my pronunciation wasn't spot on.
Okay, the re vindicatio is a remedy that is simple but yet powerful. It is the owner's property assertion of their rights to recover their property from any unlawful possessor. So the remedy is significant in cases where property has been wrongfully taken away from you, and it provides a legal avenue for the owner to enforce their rights without the need for a contract or prior agreement with the possessor. So basically, it's crucial in maintaining the sanctity of property rights. It ensures that the ownership of the property is respected and that individuals cannot unjustifiably benefit from retaining the property that does not belong to them. So the underlying principle here is that ownership must be protected and must be restored when violated.
Boitumelo, any specific requirements that must be complied with?
Yes, there must be requirements that should be complied with, and the first one could include the aspect of ownership. So the person that is seeking to reclaim the property, which would be the plaintiff, must prove that they are legal owners of the property. So ownership must be established beyond doubt, as this is the foundation of the re vindicatio claim. And the second requirement would be the existence of property. Obviously, the property being claimed must exist at the time of the claim. So if the property is destroyed or cannot be identifiable, the re vindicatio action will not be successful. And the last property is the aspect of unlawful possession. So the defendant, which is the person holding the property, must be in an unlawful possession of the property. This means that they have no legal rights to the property and they are holding on to the property without the consent of the owner. So these are the three requirements that must be met in order to succeed with re vindicatio.
And Boitumelo, how is this re vindicatio applied in practice?
Okay, as I've mentioned, that re vindicatio is applied in circumstances where the owner's property is being violated. So a person would need to make an application to court. It can either be the High Court or the Magistrate Court. However, this is dependent on the value of the property. So if the property in question is over 400,000, you need to make an application at the High Court. And your summons must clearly outline the plaintiff's ownership of the property. It must provide a detailed description of the property in question, and it must also assert that the defendant's position is unlawful and in accordance with the requirements that I've mentioned of the re vindicatio.
And then our final question for today, are there any defences available for a person whom the re vindicatio is claimed against?
Yes, there are defenses that a person can use. The person can prove that she is not in physical control of the property. The person can prove that the property claimed was destroyed and cannot be identified. Or rather, they can prove that the person was not aware that the thing that they claimed belonged to the lawful possessor of the property.
Now, this was very interesting. You learn something new every day. I didn't know what Raven DiCaprio was. I thought probably a TV character or something from Breaking Bad or something. But now we know. Boitumelo, thank you so much from Hahn Hahn Attorneys. We appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much for having me on.
Are you or your business in trouble and struggling to find a solution? Call Hahn Hahn Attorneys as we assist clients in finding solutions. We specialize in consumer and food law, commercial and construction law, forensic investigations and administrative law. Visit hahnlaw.co.za. That's HAHN. We assist clients nationwide. Hahn Hahn Attorneys, because we care. Don't miss Legal Talk with Hahn Hahn Attorneys, Wednesday mornings at 10 on eRadio.